Meeting to order. Let's start off with the pledge, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Yes,
Is there any
sir.
additions or corrections?
I do not have any. Is there your motion, Richard?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Brenna, you are up. Status of grants.
Well, so I went through as fast as I could
Yes.
and tried to make contact with all of our grants. And I just kind of listed a few bullets on what we heard back from all of them. Basically, to quickly summarize it, most of our state grants, we have the option to hand them over to another organization as long as they will fulfill the terms in that
Like
contract.
another public health, county public
Yeah,
health.
another
That's
county.
probably
Okay.
what it would
Yeah.
have to be.
Okay.
'Cause, yeah, we don't really have any.
Yeah, because
I
it's
know
like
there's-
it's like the
yeah,
lead
there's a-
requirements, the immunization requirements, those
Okay.
kind of state
Okay.
grants.
Or we could just give it back to the state. For certain programs, the state could provide the services to the county. So, for example, lead. Some of the things, if we give it back to the state, we still need to ensure that the services are provided and they just won't be paid for through the grant because we can't meet the grant contract. So, for example, immunization and reportable disease arrangements will need to be made to have somebody do that in our county.
Okay.
That's honestly most of it. A lot of the people said that at this time we are in good standing and that there's no concerns now.
That's good.
But once we give them that official notification, because I told them we don't know for sure yet, but this is what's happening. Once we know for sure, then they'll go through, read all the details of our contracts, review all the claims that have gone through, make sure there's no issues. If they
It'll be
find
like a
anything, we
closeout
would have to
process.
pay that back, but
Sure.
there's going to be a whole closeout process.
Sure,
And
sure.
a lot of them couldn't really give us a clear answer on what that's going to look like.
Sure.
Most of them said there's not going to be major financial penalties that they would put. It would just be if something was done incorrectly and needs paid back,
Okay.
which should be very minimal. I don't
Understandable.
foresee
Yeah,
any.
I don't see there's any paybacks. It all just determines like if you fulfill that most of the contracts say you have to give a 30-day notice. If you terminate prior to that, then there could be additional. It's all just
Right.
depending on that grant.
And
They
some
detected
grants
it
said
just-
they will not allow us to do 28E and hand it over. You would just close out.
Okay.
There were
good.
some
Yeah.
like that.
So
Probably
immunization, so for that one, we would have to give that back over to the state,
Mhm.
or we can give it to a different organization.
Potentially, yes. There's not a lot of money left in it, so I don't know why somebody
we
would
would.
want to do the work for what's left.
Okay.
But it's an option, I guess.
Okay, and then the lead grant, that's the same thing. That can either be handed back over to the state, or we can have a different organization. And you would recommend for the both of them to hand that back over to the state and not to a different organization?
I think it'd
I-
be smoother.
I can't imagine another organization's going to want them. I don't think it's a good
No.
deal for them. Yeah.
Yeah, I would recommend just giving it back to the state,
Okay.
closing it out.
And then emergency preparedness can be given to another county in our service area.
Yes. It would have to all get approved through them. We wouldn't just get to say we want to give it to this county. The grant would decide that, and they're going to be a little bit more strict about it compared to some of the other smaller grants because it is such a
Large.
larger amount of money.
Large service area.
But it is an option because they want that program to continue to be provided, so they would work with us in whatever county wants it to make those arrangements.
We haven't heard back from tobacco. Right,
Right.
Mm-mm.
okay.
Who?
The tobacco grant,
Grant,
Probably going to be similar.
similar to the
Give the contract
immunization
back.
and lead, I would think.
Yeah.
Same with substance abuse, it's also a state grant.
Can I back up this emergency preparedness grant? Our emergency coordinator downstairs has one that is called the same. Is there any, are these anything alike? I mean, do you work with him at all, or is he totally separate?
I think he's totally separate.
Okay,
Different kinds of emergencies probably.
Yeah.
And it has to be a county that takes it over. It wouldn't be a different organization.
That's
like
my
some of these
understanding.
grants.
Yeah.
The only one that I heard back that could potentially be moved to a different organization within the county was the substance abuse. I'm pretty sure it was. Let me double check that. No, yeah, substance abuse. She said potentially, as long as the county's still doing their match percentage, it doesn't matter if public health is doing the work or if somebody at the courthouse is doing the work. Again, I don't know that there's anybody at the courthouse who could do the work, but they did say that is an option if you want to have somebody else who can provide the services and provide that match. You
Yeah,
could just
because I
use it
think
in public
the
health.
substance abuse grants, they fund like what am I looking for? Recovery type services. So they fund other entities besides just counties.
So like if a mental health provider
Yeah.
needed reimbursed, you could.
Sure. Okay. Prevent child abuse, that's the one that was, they would like to say 100%. Is that, you agree with that? They're
Parents as
100% funded.
teachers.
Yeah.
I'd have to do the exact math to know for sure. I just calculated before I came here her salary and fringe compared to what we get, and there's like a $1,000 difference. Like the grant's higher, so I don't know her total cost of like travel and supplies and that, but
Yeah, I'm just talking about her salary. You have to travel.
it's very minimal
Okay.
if there's county coverage
Sure.
for parents as teachers.
that's one that Kim Frank
Kim Frank.
handles.
And parents as teachers, like I said, did reach out. They called me and they sent an email to each one of us saying that they would be willing to waive a fee for the county,
Yep.
and they would pay for it because Kim Frank does such an excellent job.
Yes, she does. And that's one where either like if it can be moved to another outside of the public health budget, because it is mostly covered, that's one of the options they would like. Otherwise, it is just the 30-day notice.
Any other employees that you know that are 100% covered by grant?
I mean, all the emergency preparedness staff is
preparedness.
100% those 3 employees. But again, I mean, that is a huge grant. There's a lot of other stuff that goes along with it.
Yeah.
But the 3 employees that we have are 100% reimbursed.
Good.
Yeah.
But again, we're covering a whole region.
Oh, yeah.
There's I mean, it's a whole
yeah.
It's a
thing.
very-
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
So they get some of that funding too. But the service would still be provided in Mills County, whether we hold it or not.
it would just be provided by someone else. Yeah, it's not going to go away.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Richard or Jack? You good, Rich?
No, I'm
Nothing else?
fine.
Jack, you good?
Yeah.
Budget overview.
I mean, I guess really I initiated these conversations because we were told that a budget amendment is not taking place. So I just wanted to start the conversations to mitigate the process and see what our options are.
Sure.
We're just to that crunch time where we have to figure out what to do.
And anything we can do to try to keep services.
Yeah.
We want to do it sooner than later so that we have more wiggle room in that
You
remainder of our
got budget that
budget.
you printed out the other day?
I can get it real quick.
I don't need it right now. Just remind me later.
Okay.
Thank you. How much money do you have left? Which further can you go? How long can you make it?
With current staffing,
Yeah, as is today.
Thank
Well-
you. The sheet I had was 178, and you turned in 13,000 in bills
Yes.
today.
Yep.
So take it down to 165.
And then there's 73,000 from December.
Yeah, we'll have to look at that still too.
Yeah. So, I mean,
So
there's a lot of considerations.
so if you look at as far as payroll and your benefits go, it's about $75,000. It's about $75,000 a month
Right.
in payroll and wages and benefits.
Mhm.
So that kind of gave us an idea of where we were.
Yeah, and that was, I think it's gone down a little bit since then, hasn't it?
This is current.
The last payroll was 72,000.
You might have a little bit of change from your to as needed
Okay.
would be my guess.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess
It's around there.
I'm guessing that's where
Yeah,
that
72,
difference is.
75.
Yeah, it's around there.
Okay.
So, oh yeah, 72. Sorry, I
That's
read
okay.
75. It's 72, 524. So yeah, so it's right around there. 72.
And how much do you have coming in? You say you billed 70 in December?
December hasn't been billed yet. It'll be billed this week,
Okay.
early next week. It's got to be done by the 12th and 15th for certain grants, so it'll be done before that. But we're still waiting on. Last I checked, it was 68,000 from November payments. 38 of that was emergency preparedness. 10,000 of it is a CHI donation that we usually get anytime after this year. So
Does that include any billing for home health care at all?
no.
Okay.
That is just grants.
Okay.
And then December, do you have any anticipation of what you will bill for that?
I couldn't tell you now.
I would assume it'll be slightly
It's-
higher since end of quarter and some of our grants are quarterly.
Yeah.
So it should be a little bit more, but still in
more than
that same
68.
ballpark. Yeah.
When this money comes in, is that ours or is that all got to go back out again? Is that all any of it pass through or is the bulk of it pass through?
Most of it's reimbursement for staff time, but
Okay.
the emergency preparedness, it
Sure.
reimburses staff time, but it also does need to go back out
Okay.
to the counties.
Wasn't it with that 70 or something that we just received? 40 of it was for emergency preparedness or something of that nature. Somewhere along those lines. Amber,
I haven't seen it yet.
It could be. I'd have to
Just go on your board.
double check the numbers.
And that's something, Brenda, we can go over and make sure that when we're appropriating it, we appropriate it.
Right.
they called you back now. Yep.
Everybody wants an answer.
And we also don't know if we need to leave anything in that wiggle room for if we do lay off staff, unused vacation time payouts,
Payouts.
and
Payouts,
also
unemployment.
unemployment. So we can't go to zero. I don't know
Yeah.
what we can go to
Yeah.
or how we
Yeah.
would calculate that.
Right.
But we,
That's kind of why
Mm.
the whole reason we were concerned and wanted to initiate these conversations because there's a lot of unknown trickle
Right.
down that I don't know how to play.
and if we're gonna have to
estimate
lay
that.
off staff
Hard
in a
to plan.
month,
Yep. it is.
Right.
if we can reduce sooner, then we might be able to at least keep a couple people longer.
Right.
So
So I did look up, have salaries, if we were able to keep the 2 homemakers
Mhm.
and the nurse, and as if I understand it, Liz is half-time homemaker, half-time administrative work,
Mhm.
correct? So we keep the 2 homemakers, and Caitlin, that's 120 a month. I'm sorry, that's 72,000 pay period. Oh, no, sorry. No, right. $120,000 in salary and benefits through June 30th. That would be 120,000, give or take.
Okay.
And I'll speak as the Board of Health representative from the Board of Supervisors that while campaigning, home health care was the one thing that was really talked about that people are worried about. So I think in my position, and I'll let those two speak for themselves, but in my position, home health care is something that we need to protect and make sure, especially that aging population, have the services that they need. And so whatever way we can make sure that home health care is protected, that's that's how I want to go about this.
No, I'm along with Jack. Home health care is what we need. We need to take care of the people in Mills County. You know, when the lady opens the door and the nurse is standing there, and it might be just a hi, hello, how are you? But if that satisfies her for the day, that's what we need to do.
And I personally don't think, after looking at prior years and this year, the budget wasn't sustainable for long term. And that's just the sad part of this, is it wasn't sustainable. And that's why we're in the predicament that we're in. And it's really unfortunate because you both know that I didn't want to do this. But I didn't. Nobody gave me the information until Amber took office a week after the election. And I've been trying to find a solution since then, but I was hoping this would happen at the end of January, but I understand why it's happening now, why you brought it up, because you want to leave people in the best situation that you can,
Right.
whatever that situation may be.
I mean, I would love to be able to continue providing as many services as we can with what we have. I do have concerns if it's only me and 2 homemaker, because then I'm gonna have to do all the nursing services plus all the required administrative things. I have no training on how to do a budget. I don't want to take on the liability of all that either.
That's something
On short
I believe
notice?
our office would be happy to help you with.
Okay.
I'd be happy to help you with the budgeting side of it.
You personally help her.
We could all do it together. That would be a great.
Yeah,
succession.
that's
that-
true
yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to, if we leave you out to dry, we leave the residents of Mills County out to dry. That's the last thing that the Board of Supervisors wants to do. So if that's the path that we go through, you'll have our full support and we'll help you in any way that we can.
Absolutely.
Definitely just would want to have more conversations and make a more detailed
Yep.
plan before agreeing to that. But
Yeah.
I'm definitely open. If that's our best option, we can talk about it. But there's going to be a lot of the admin stuff that I have no background and I'm not
Yep.
prepared to do and will have to do in that situation. So a lot to think about and a lot to plan for. And
Yep.
Well, any other questions on the budget, guys?
So all I would say is, we're here to help. I myself, I think all 3 of us want to see this succeed.
We still need to provide service.
Right. We need to take care of our people. We said we would, and we're going to. So if you need help with budget or anything else, don't be afraid to ask for help. We're here.
I think in the long run, we talked about it yesterday when I met with you guys to try and start this conversation. I think in the long run, we want to make sure that home health care is protected, not only because of that fee, the fact that the fees might jump up and most people wouldn't be able to afford it in Mills County that already receive home health services through the Mills County Public Health, but it's also the fact that I know, my great-grandparents, they have someone new coming, they want to know where the old home health person was. They want to know where, Janet is. They want to know exactly where they went to. So I think it's good to try our best to keep the same people with home health care. And I think that this would be our best way to do that.
do you guys have any other recommendations, any other potential options? I mean, this is one option. If this doesn't work, what's our plan B?
Right. I have one yet. This is all new. Like yesterday we spoke, I set
Yeah.
up a brainstorm last night thinking, what could I have said? What could I have done or offered? I'm a little
Our hands are
lost
kind of
right
tied, so
It's truly unfortunate.
now. We do value your input though, and we will yours later tonight. Anyone else's?
I think that the option that we've talked about would be the best option for the residents of the county.
I don't know another one.
It would take a lot of work to find another one, a lot of work to make another one work. But this is our best option right now to make sure that the residents in Mills County receive the services that they expect, and then the taxpayers in Mills County ensure that their money is spent appropriately.
And based off of this, is your recommendation to make changes tomorrow, the end of the month? I mean, how long do
I'd say
we?
Yeah.
The sooner the better would be my opinion.
Like-
I mean,
like
I
you
know there's
said,
timelines
the
we have to
30
work
days.
with.
Yeah, well, and it also comes down to, the reason why you contacted us yesterday, Lonnie and I at least, was because the longer it goes on, the more you're gonna have to pay in salaries.
Right.
And then eventually, the same result will happen.
The payouts will still be there.
Payouts will still be there. And we wanna make sure that we have the money to be able to pay people off, to be able to pay vacation leave. If people need to file for unemployment, we wanna make sure that's all there for them.
Right.
Last thing we want to do is to not support them during this time, because it's a difficult time. A lot of people have been there for a lot of years.
I can create to take to the board tonight, I can create kind of a, I don't want to say budget, but to kind of give you a breakdown so everybody can kind of see what we're talking about.
Yeah, I think that would be helpful.
Yeah.
Just call them plus or minus.
Yeah, yeah.
If they need to certify to, or
So I'll
at least give us a dartboard.
do that. I'll get that done before you guys go tonight.
And have you guys been able to be in contact with, we have our new board member, Megan. Have you been able to talk to Paul Curry at all? Or have you been in contact with any of the board members?
No, yesterday I talked to Darcy and
Okay.
Sandy and Joe, obviously.
Yep.
I sent out the agenda for tonight's meeting, but I don't have a contact number for the new ones.
Okay.
The Board of Health members.
I have the phone number for Paul, so I'll give that to you afterwards. Megan's here. And then they didn't have your email for the agenda. So,
I sent it off yesterday,
you got it, okay.
and I sent.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
We'll just I'll work on getting a spreadsheet put together so it's on paper and everybody can take a look at it.
And then you guys will just be providing your recommendation to the Board of Health? Or,
And I think that's
I think they'll have to recommend it to us. And
okay,
We'll have to do what we
Come to an
can to
agreement.
keep services. It's
if I'm
our goal
understanding
to keep
correctly. Yeah.
services. How that happens, we'll obviously need as much help as we can.
I think that the purpose of this meeting was to get everybody together and have that conversation before the Board of Health met, so that the Board of Health would understand where the Board of Supervisors were.
right.
So that way,
Yeah.
I've not seen that agenda yet. Do you guys meeting before the meeting? In a closed session or anything, or is it just closed session
It's
in
just
the
closed
meeting? or
session.
For the meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's definitely gonna be a lot of details to work out.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not gonna be quick either.
No,
Yeah.
but I know as of right now, all three of us plan on being there. And then John Pfeiffer with the county attorney's office planning on being there too, just in case anyone has any questions. So,
Yeah, we're gonna need legal.
Yeah.
Kind of blended into the C discussion, possible formal action, or recommendation for determining the next steps. We're kind of there
Yeah.
already. So anyone else have
Yeah.
anything else to add, or we are wide open to suggestions?
I wish I had
I know.
better
It's
options.
Like when I met with you yesterday, I wish I could have said, let's try this or that. I'm at a loss.
and like I said, I'm deeply sorry that this is happening. So, I don't think there's anyone that's trying to do this for any personal reasons. I don't think there's anyone that's trying to make a show out of you guys. It's so unfortunate, and we want to make sure that people in Mills County are protected. So we're going to do our best. And Board of Health is going to do their best.
Anything else, Richard?
No, I believe you pretty well covered everything. It's been a slow nagging process, and it's finally come to this. It's what I would call a bittersweet ending, folks. It's not something that I have ever looked forward to. I always thought public health would survive, but push comes to shove. Sometimes it doesn't always come out like you want it to do. So we'll work with what we have. We'll take care of the people. We'll watch the dollars. And we'll go from there.
Amber, do you have anything, questions, concerns?
I don't think so. I'll work on getting something put together, and I might have some questions for you later, maybe.
Jill, Megan, do you have any questions?
Not yet,
Welcome to the show.
yeah, not yet.
Jill, you good?
They're coming.
Well, with no further questions, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn at 1:25.
Second,
We've got a motion and a second to adjourn at 1:25. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
I
Aye. Motion carries.